Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining another episode of Growth Digger, where we talk about everything growth, not at just the top of the funnel, but across the customer journey and all the touch points that you have throughout the life cycle of a customer. Very glad to have Gabriel Kaam today, all the way from Paris, joining us. He is the co-founder at KNR Agency. They specialize in direct-to-consumer and e-commerce, where they're helping a number of brands accentuate and grow at a faster pace than they typically would. And Gabriel, anything you would like to add to your introduction here?
Thank you for the invitation, first of all. And yeah, I would say that we focus mostly on fashion, cosmetic, and luxury brands for the most part.
Got it. Wonderful. Yeah, being in Paris, you have to.
Exactly.
And usually I like to start with an example of how a situation where you really did something that changed the growth trajectory for a customer. So if you have something from your recent past that you can share, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, there's this one project that I like to talk about, because when you talk about growth on e-commerce especially, most people only focus on acquisition. So how to get more customer, more visitors into my website, which is great, don't get me wrong. But with all the costs right now, costing higher to advertise on Facebook, Instagram, and Google, it costs like a lot of money right now. So what we've seen trying to help brand understanding that is more than just acquisition to growth. It's about retention. It's about relationship with your customer. So we did that, for example, like for this one client model, it's a shopping website online, present in the French market. I think they have 6 markets actually, like French, Germany, and the US, I think recently. And we helped them grow using SEO a lot. Like we did SEO for them for over 1 year and a half. Basically grow them from 0 to probably 1 million plus visitors a year, 1 million plus in revenue as well for the website. 95% of the traffic was SEO. But we also had a really strong strategy when it comes to retention. So we did a lot of email marketing. Once you have the customer on the website, if you're able to grab the email, then you can initiate this kind of great conversation with them. And I think email was and probably still is one of the best tools to do that. So it helps to talk to the clients, to understand what they want, what they need, how can you provide them more solution to their problem. And when we did that, I guess using AI was with the...
I was going to say, in your opinion, you just mentioned email is still a great tool for establishing contact and maintaining a relationship and an upsell, cross-sell, and the whole customer life cycle. Yeah. What about SMS and WhatsApp? And because we're living in the world of instant communication now. So are you guys doing a lot of work in that space as well?
Yeah. I like WhatsApp a lot, I like SMS a lot. The thing is, it's new for some customers, so it really depends on how the customer is going to react. I was talking to someone right now that is doing business in the US, and I think in the US, they see SMS and WhatsApp very differently from how we see it in
use
France.
It in Europe, because the privacy laws in Europe are much stronger.
Yeah, I guess privacy law and also like the culture. Like we're not used to receive like SMS from the brand or from the mall unless we really feel like a strong connection to that. So I love this because WhatsApp and SMS is really great. I think we had like a WhatsApp campaign for one of our clients with 80 to 90% open rate, which is crazy when you compare to email. When it comes to performance, it's really good. But you need to do it correctly because it's really easy to send a WhatsApp message that is not welcome, and that can hurt your brand image and your relationship with the client. So I love this. I feel people are more forgiving with email, a little bit more used to receiving emails. If you can do email the right way, I think it's still a good option. And I think it's easier for brands to integrate that because it's less of a risk. But I do believe the future, as you say, leads to WhatsApp.
More instant communication technology. And I certainly think that's going to be the way forward. And I think beyond that as well, more conversational and AI driven, where if somebody's on your website, you just have them interact with any work that you guys have done in the space of AI.
We like to integrate AI a lot in our internal process. So I write a lot of documents for my team in AI. I try to teach my team to use AI when they need to, even sometimes code. So I like to use AI for this type of stuff. We don't have a service that's AI based, but we did integrate some solutions that are powered by AI. Let's stay on the topic, for example. We created for them a chatbot on the website, which is a little bit more than just a typical chatbot, which as a personal shopping assistant. So we try to basically recreate the kind of conversation that you can have if you go to a really nice mall or a really nice, if you ever been to an Amazon store, you can see how the sales
The interactions, very personalized.
They ask questions, they can do
yeah.
recommendation, they try to get you the right information. So we try to recreate that using AI, because AI is this tool that enables you to do so many great things, especially when it comes to human interaction. So yeah, we developed these chatbots. We deployed the first beta version, I think, this summer. We've seen a really big, how would you say that, adoption and really nice stats. Like we see the retention is going through the roof. The average session time probably like double, tripled. We actually ended up removing the email pop-in because we are getting more email from the chatbot itself. So the pop-in didn't make sense anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, really great tool.
The AI technology is replacing some of the older ways of doing things as well as kind of things are progressing.
It just opens the door to so many possibilities as a marketer, as a brand owner. There's so many things I'm excited about it. I'm a tech guy, so I'm excited about it. Some people aren't. But I don't know what your stand is about.
I think AI is going to certainly change the way, people interact with brands.
Yeah.
Because the scale of personalization and the scale of communication and the scope of it will be manifold.
Yeah.
AI chatbot is never going to sleep, for example. And like that whole personalized shopping experience based on your preferences, especially for returning customers, based on what they purchased in the past, what their interests are. As much information you have about that customer, a much better experience can be expected, and at a very large scale as well. I think companies that have a lot of traffic on their website and they struggle with providing the right level of service when people have questions, I think it's going to be a tremendous amount of impact.
Yeah, exactly. AI could be a solution to so many of these problems, and it's improving so fast. Like even when you compare to when ChatGPT came out, we know the 4.0, like the quality of the response. Sometimes it's hard to even tell that it's AI or not a human.
Yeah. And then the other thing I think is going to happen is because it's collecting a lot of this data.
Yeah.
And it's also self-learning.
Yeah.
So you really, in the past, you collected all that data when you had manual interactions. You would analyze that, and then you would find trends, and then you would like use that as inputs to improve your products or improve your service. And here it is all going to get done automatically.
Yeah.
It's going to continuously learn itself.
Yeah, it's embedded into
and then
the
also any inputs, any direction that it wants to give, for example, like, product. You're talking about like fashion and retail. If their sizes consistently are either out of stock or they don't fit the customers according to the size chart, all these things will get surfaced so quickly by the artificial intelligence technology versus waiting for a human to actually analyze it and surface it. I do think that the impact on e-commerce, especially the service side and the assisted sales side of e-commerce, is going to be tremendous.
Yeah, in e-commerce, I think like for the past years, it's all been about omni-channel, being able to connect to the website and getting in store and then know all your preferences. We can do that with AI. And then it was all about hyper customization, being able to propose relevant products based on your purchase history or your preferences or what you're doing, what you like and what you don't like. And I think with AI, going to make it easier for brands to do that. And it's also going to be able to be done in a more, I'm going to say, human way, like conversation. It's not just like an email with, here are your topics. It's like, oh, hey, by the way, Gabriel, I noticed that you saw this product, you buy this one, could be like a good addition to it. What do you think? And they can adapt the way they talk to you based on what you prefer. And they could replicate the brand voice and tone of voice. They really can adapt to any situation. So yeah, I'm really excited about what's going to happen in the e-commerce in the next years with the help of AI.
And anything else that you would like to talk about today? Any advice that you would like to leave, especially since you guys specialize in e-commerce, companies that are focused on e-commerce? One of my friends, he is a manufacturer, and he manufactures like high quality towels and products that are based out of that fabric, like robes and beach towels and things of that nature from hand towels to beach towels. And he's been thinking about going direct to consumer.
Yeah.
And I had a brief conversation with him, and I told him, I said, it's easier said than done, because everybody thinks, hey, it's just about building a website and then people will start coming. I said, it doesn't work that way. There's like a lot of hard work that goes into trying to bring the customer. So any bit of advice that you can give for companies that are manufacturers and have traditionally sold through stores but now want to have a direct to consumer presence,
Yeah.
any bit of advice that you can give?
It's so funny because when you start to talk about your friends when I'm manufacturer, I was like, I know exactly what you're gonna ask. It's like how to move to D2C, and even before that, should you move to D2C? Is it like a
Exactly.
good choice? Is it the right moment? I have an answer, I guess, in two folds. So we actually do have a lot of clients who are not manufacturer, but they used to only sell B2B. So we have cosmetic brands. They used to not distribute themselves, but they have networks of distributors and resellers. They will sell this the
Yep.
product in pharmacies and stuff like that, in malls, and they were doing pretty good. And they were wondering, should we try to do D2C? How hard it is? Does it make sense for us? For them, it actually did make sense for different reasons. All because they already had a business going, right? So it's not like they had to raise money to be able to.
Yeah, they're already in retail.
You know,
I mean, see,
they're
there's
already in
two
retail.
aspects.
Yeah.
One, they are like the companies that are already having a retail posture, maybe through more of a wholesale network and a
Yeah.
distributor network. But then there are companies that are just pure manufacturers as well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those guys are also thinking, hey, direct to consumer is a great space. And usually what I tell people is, and I would love to see your perspective on this as well, is see, Amazon, especially if you are in the US and even in India for that matter, if you want to go direct to consumer, you cannot ignore Amazon as the channel, basically. So you got to have an Amazon store, and you can see that every major brand out there has now got a Amazon store. Even the minor brands that are trying to make their presence felt in the direct to consumer, besides having their own e-commerce presence, they do, have Amazon stores.
Yeah.
So what's your view on that? What do you advise?
I think it would depend on what you're selling. I'm really focused on the French market when it comes to Amazon. For example, like in fashion and beauty, I don't think Amazon is the right place to sell. It depends what you're selling. If you're selling like maybe furniture, maybe some utensil and tools, then yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Amazon
commodity.
is
See, commodities.
yeah, it just makes sense. And I know people who make a lot of money with Amazon. So if you educate yourself on how it works, maybe if you find like the right maybe partner to lead you to that, which we don't, by the way. So it's not selling my service. We don't do Amazon
You guys do.
FBA consulting, but I know some people do, and I know some people are making like quite a good business on that. So yeah, it's cool because like Amazon basically they answer a lot of the biggest problem that each commerciant has: how to get traffic and how to then ship my product to that.
Yeah.
Amazon has the answer.
Logistics and marketing, both of those. Like, how do you find buyers, and how do you? I mean, in the U.S. right now, and I don't know about the stats in Paris or France, but in the US, 55% of the product searches now happen on Amazon. So if
Yeah.
somebody's looking for a product, for example, hair oil or a piece of furniture, they just go to Amazon and search for it.
Yeah, it's easier for them to do that.
Vitamins, like anything you want in your life, you just go to Amazon and you search it. That's 55% of the searches are not happening on search engines, they're actually happening on Amazon. So it's become a de facto search engine for product searches.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
how is that in France? Is that the same or?
No, yeah, in France. I don't have the stats again. We don't work with Amazon a lot, but I do know that I think I was reading somewhere that half of the product or something like this were either from Amazon or Temu. They are still improving their position as a big player in the e-commerce field. And I do believe that, yes, if you do have an item that you think could work well on Amazon, I think you should do it. It makes sense. And there's also, they have so many tools to help you do your job. So you're never going to be alone, right? They have some tools that can help you analyze trends. They have like a similar tool, I think, to Google, like that you can see how many times a month people are actually typing. looking for your product.
Everything. Yeah, they have good analytics.
They have all of that. And if you really want to go higher, you can even buy some ads on them. So you don't even have to go and do like a Google shopping campaign. You just put some money into the Amazon algo and it will push you like higher. You can just do that, try a few things. I don't think you even need to have that much of a big inventory to start working with them. You can start small. I have
Yeah,
people who
that's
have
the
more.
other thing is you can start small with that.
Yeah, so you don't
But
have to invest like a lot of time and money just by trying it out. It doesn't cost you that much, but it could really make your business grow a lot because you don't have to focus on marketing or logistics. Just create a product and sell it.
yep. And so coming back to your sweet spot, which is high street fashion,
Yeah.
what is your advice to any fashion brands that are wanting to get on direct to consumer?
As you said, we talked about Amazon, and I think Amazon solved a lot of big problems that e-commerce people had. First of all, like creating a store was difficult and costly, then doing marketing and then shipping the product. I do believe, as we say, Amazon is making things easier. I think right now e-commerce is becoming more and more. I remember when I was starting to work on e-commerce, it was really hard to start your own online shop. Now it's really easy. You have tools like Shopify that are becoming more and more advanced. They are powering really big websites, and you can basically create a Shopify store in a couple of days. We do have services at the agency if you want to have a professional do it for you. It's not a big risk, it's not a big investment to try e-commerce. But it's not going to be easy if you do it on your own, right? Because as you said, it's good to have a website, but then how do you create traffic? How do you have people actually get into the website and then buy your product? So that's a different scenario. I encourage brands that are maybe only doing retail or people who are only doing manufacturing to try their hands at e-com, either on Amazon if it makes sense, or by creating their own e-commerce platform with the tools like Shopify that makes things really easy. I don't know what you do. I'm guessing you know Shopify. What is your take on this tool?
So I am actually a founder at Growth Natives, which is both a B2B and a direct to consumer digital transformation and marketing agency.
Yeah.
And we do work a lot with Shopify. I think Shopify is probably the de facto tool of choice if you want to go launch a small e-commerce store and kind of test the waters with it.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously plenty of other products in the market for e-commerce enablement. Starting an e-commerce store, it could be like WooCommerce, it could be Magento, and obviously Shopify is the most popular one.
Yeah.
And it does have a very strong ecosystem as well. Like you were earlier talking about managing the customer lifecycle, they've made it pretty easy because there's a lot of apps that are available on the Shopify
Yeah.
ecosystem that you can use for everything, email marketing to managing subscriptions to managing all kinds of customer relationships. Shopify is certainly, I think I would recommend that to anybody who wants to start.
No, I think me too. I remember our first client, this brand, The Couples, very famous brand also like in the French market. And when we started working with them, that was 7-8 years ago, I think, one of our first clients. And they were using Magento. I think there was the 1.7 version. So we still have to manage the server, the hosting. And I remember every time they made like a sale, the website crashed because there was too many people on the website. And we kept talking to the hosting partner. We're going to launch like a big promotion tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of PR on it. We're going to probably like time 5, 10
The
our
traffic
usual
and
traffic. Can you configure it? They were like, yeah, sure. Don't worry, I get it. Every time the website would crash because 8 a.m. the email goes and then everybody comes to the website, they buy, and then the website crashes. I've had 10 times more traffic on Shopify on some website. I don't think he ever crashed on me.
No, I
Just
think,
by that.
Gabriel was great talking to you. You've been a wonderful guest, and I wish you the very best. And hopefully, our listeners have learned a thing or two from our conversation today.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a great guest.
Thank you for having me, Taran.